Hi guys, Brian here from the City Back Pain Program. So probably the biggest and most important question when dealing with long-term back pain is, can you actually fix it for good? The answer is yes, but there are some kind of caveats that go along with that. Probably the first and most important thing to do, most people when they've got back pain are in the mindset that it's almost like an on-off switch, and it's either you've got back pain and that's it, or you magically fix it by doing one thing or another and it just turns off and you don't have to worry about it again. The reality is that it's a lot more dynamic in nature. So the best way I think there is to kind of approach it or to understand it is to think of it like a bank balance. So say for example, to get through an average day you need $100 in your bank account to do all the things you need to do at work or with the family, with the kids, without the back getting gripey and getting flared up and angry. And if you're stuck in kind of back pain now, obviously whatever you've got in your bank balance is less than what you need just to get through your day-to-day life. So say for example, you might only have $20 in your bank account, or even worse, if you're in kind of spasm now as you're watching this video, you might be into kind of overdraft, negative. So one of your first things you need to do is, because if you let the bank rest, it will start to build up that bank balance very slowly. It's not a very effective approach long term, but the initial stages, one of the most important things to do is not keep aggravating that back and keep making those withdrawals on that bank balance. So probably one of the first things you need to do really is identify the movements, habits and postures that you've got. Making those withdrawals on the bank balance and keeping it low. Take out all of those, or at least modify them, so they're less aggressive with how much they're taking out, and then your back will start to kind of build itself up. Once you start to go in sort of the right direction, things will start to settle a little bit. Then there's a good time that you can start doing some exercises, because even with the best people in the world, all the effective rehab exercises, they're going to need to make little withdrawals on that bank balance. So you kind of like take some out to reinvest it, and then kind of build it up for the next day, and then take some more out, reinvest it, build it up for the next day. You still have to be careful, but even the safe and effective exercises do take a little bit of that bank balance up. So we've got to make sure we've got adequate stores or supply so that we can start doing that. And then once you start to grow that bank balance and the back starts to settle down, that's where it starts to become a little bit more resilient, a little bit less gripey. It gets off that knife edge, which is just going to spasm any second. And then you just be progressive with your exercises, keep doing your exercises, and then you'll start to build that bank balance. So then, say you're in pain now, you might be at 0. Build that bank balance over a couple of weeks by taking out things that aggravate it, do the exercises that help it, get back up to 100, which might be enough to get you through day-to-day life, and be dealing with the kids, going to work, driving a car, whatever it is that you need to do for day-to-day. But then you might want to get back into training, or you might want to get into sport, in which case you might need, say, $200 in that bank account. So then you've got to plan your rehab so that you can start to build that capacity even more. And my advice is to build it to what you need it to do, plus a bit more. Give yourself a bit of safety buffer for any sort of unexpected life events that may occur. And then just do it in a way that's not going to aggravate your back. Let it build up and kind of over-engineer yourself, so you've got that safety buffer to do your sport, do your training, get through day-to-day life, get through work, be with the kids, be with the family, whatever it is you need to do, and not have that back constantly gripey. So if you're the sort of person who's watching this and you've probably been dealing with back pain for maybe a few months, maybe even a few years, I've had people dealing with 20 years before, and you're in that kind of constant cycle of it's kind of good for a bit and then it just kind of gets bad, so then you have to kind of rest it, take painkillers, and it kind of comes good again. It's because you're not really building that bank balance up. At best, when you rest it, it kind of repletes a little bit, but then you're not kind of building on top of it. You need the kind of the safe and effective exercises and rehab program to kind of let you build, to give you that safety buffer and leeway. So if you're in that kind of constant cycle, that's what you need to do. But also it means that if you are in that constant cycle, there's obviously movements and postures that you've got that are constantly aggravating, depleting that bank balance that you're not aware of. That's one of the things you need to kind of break out that cycle. That's one of the things you need to work on. Like I say, it's not easy, but as long as you're methodical with it and progressive, back pain does not have to be forever. But you do have to, do certain exercises and be mindful of certain movement habits and postures you've got to keep it that way and to keep it pain-free. So hopefully that answered the question of whether you can fix back pain for good, which yes, you definitely can, but it does take a bit of work, and you've got to think about it in a slightly different way. So if you're struggling with back pain as you're watching this video, you know, back pain does not have to be forever. You don't have to struggle along with it. If you want some effective help, get in touch with the link below the video, and you can come in for a free consultation. We'll have a chat. Look at any scans you've got, talk about your injury history, and get you on the right path to building a stronger, robust, and pain-free lower back.